JP, okay, my question is, JP, does this count towards your best bets total for the season?
I mean,
To be
Because you
determined.
worked really hard to get back to 500, and I don't know, do you just want to throw it all away?
no. Most of that was spread betting, and this is going to be a lot of these are plus money bets, and so like they're less implied to hit as much, and spread
Yeah.
bets are supposed to be 50-50. So no, I wouldn't count these as such. But I do have a lot of them, and one of the things about the Super Bowl, which is, I don't know, do you classify it as so good or so bad? But one of the things that is fun for me, gambling's not for everyone. This is gambling advice. But it is fun for me and others, but not all, to bet a bunch of money on the Super Bowl. And I've done that 4 years now in a row. And at my parties, it is also a tradition to have a whiteboard where we have all the bets listed, and we track them throughout the night. We put checks and minuses or X's when it's incorrect. And I've got a couple of them that I'll go ahead and give to you right now. We can talk through these. And I'll go chronologically throughout the game for this one. So my first one's the national anthem, and I got on this one early. I took the national anthem sung by Charlie Puth over 120 seconds, and that line's got up to 121 and a half, and I got it at 120 and a half. That's also like big minus money for people now betting it at 121 and a half, but I got it at 120. So it's 120 and a half would be what the line is.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, do we want to, for fun, the three of us just
Sure.
like pick each of these? These are goofy. It feels
Sure.
like Technical Fowl stock market. So I was just going to write them down as you list them, and then you can repick just for competition.
I still love the over. Charlie Puth was quoted, and a bunch of these I have stupid stats and like stupid things as well. But Charlie Puth was quoted to saying, "I want to bring a lot of jazz to the national anthem." And we joked about this earlier at another show. I don't know if he means that literally or not, because
Yeah.
Saxophone player.
yeah, he's an elite musician and an elite TikToker, and he could literally mean bring jazz to it, which he sung it last year in New Orleans, would make a ton of sense, but this year in San Francisco maybe not so much. Or does he just mean jazz as like a description of what he's adding to it? That kind of show. Jazz. Cool.
Sure.
A lot of stuff. But I'm taking the over, even on the new line of 121 and a half. I love the over on that. What about y'all two?
Jack,
By the
give
way, it is first note sang, so from O to the last note sang.
end of Brave or the start
End of Brave.
End of Brave.
I'm taking
And if they sing Brave like 3 times, it still counts.
Wow.
I'm taking the over. Just he's a bit of a flowery singer in my mind, so I don't think he's going to take a very concise route to singing this song.
Yeah, I'm also going to take the over. I just feel like the national anthem gets added on to and elaborated on and you embellished on. So I will also take the over.
The next one is that's kind of in chronological order is the coin toss, and it's one of the most popular ones. I love it personally because there are not a lot of bets in sports or in general that you can make, because now you can bet on anything with Kalshi and Polymarket and whatnot. But the coin toss is the bet where it's literally 50-50 odds. And if you get it at the right sports book, which I have, you can find sports books that will give you even odds, 50-50 plus 100 or minus 101. Either one of those are good. And the coin toss, if you don't know historically, tails leads the series 31 times to 29 times. So we're due for heads, you could say.
Either that or tails they dominate. Tails dominates.
Also, this is since Super Bowl 52. These are what it's been. It's been heads, tails, heads, tails, heads, heads, tails, tails, heads. And so for this year, my best bet
No way we're
on
calling
the
this the
coin
best bet.
toss, I'm taking heads. I think this is the year for heads. I will say this year, I said in the group chat earlier, but I really struggled for like a week on which one I
Yeah,
wanted
a lot
to
of
pick.
contemplation on this for sure.
The past
It's
3
necessary.
years, I've had full conviction almost like immediately, and I've gone 2 for 3 the last 3 years. Last year I picked heads to go back, or sorry, last year I picked tails for tails never fails to go back to back, but it was heads. The other 2 years I got it right. I like heads in this one. It is just, at the end of the day, I am a little bit more leaning towards that is my gut feeling than tails.
Sure.
But what do y'all say?
No, bro, you got to go first.
I
I
can
had to go
let me
first
try
for
and
all
figure out
college
who's-
football season.
Doing the
I
coin
went
toss.
first on over under.
Fine. All right, JP went heads. Remind me, you said tails leads 31-29?
31-29, yes.
Yeah, and everything screams heads. So that screams heads, and also the pattern of tails, heads, tails, heads, tails, heads, heads, tails, tails, heads. We're due up for another heads and then another 2 tails, another head. Like the pattern, I've got it figured out. It's scripted.
I'm a heads guy, so give me heads. Like I'm just if I'm ever doing a coin toss, I just pick heads. So
Did y'all see? I saw an interview where Kyle Juszczyk, the
he has a science
he has
supposedly,
a
but he
science.
didn't share it.
no,
so
he
screw
did
him.
he say like 60%? Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Where he like predicts the
that's-
coin toss.
That's
60.
profitable.
Yeah, and he was like, it was some like Zoom podcast he was doing, so he was not in person, but he was like, yeah, like I've got it down to a science, 60%, and no, I don't just pick the same thing every time. Like I switch it up. So he has some method of like predicting which side it's going to land on with 60% accuracy, and then they said, oh, of course it's the Harvard kid. So apparently he also went to Harvard, which would make sense. So shout out him and send him to Vegas, I guess.
All right, what's next?
Sorry.
you're
Let's
good.
let's find what's next. I was thinking for the
He's
next
reconsidering
one.
his
I
heads
would
or tails
go. I think there's 3 of them, but I'll just list 2 of them, and it deals with the broadcast specifically. I have 2 of them, and they both apply to Drake May. I've bet that the broadcast, Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth, will mention Bakemas, not by name, but mention that Ann Michael May bakes. And so it could be by mentioning Bakemas in any way, shape, or form during the broadcast. Of course, Bakemas was one of the one of the best things to happen in December ever.
Sure. I think that's fair.
Up there, and I think they're going to mention it on the broadcast. The other one is, I think Luke May, brother of Drake May, will be shown on the broadcast. And my reasoning for that is Drake May was asked last night during Super Bowl opening night who his hero was. And he said his older brother. Luke May this year has not attended a Patriots game, which, yes, I did the research on this, because he's been playing professional basketball overseas in Asia. And so that's why he hasn't been at Patriots games. Luke May, if you don't know, is also a North Carolina legend, hitting a game-winning shot for North Carolina against Kentucky in the NCAA tournament. Also played multiple years there. But he was playing overseas this year in Asia, which is why he's not been to a game. But I do think he's going to be shown on the broadcast. Do you guys agree?
See, now I don't think he's going to be shown on the broadcast because we have no confirmation he's even coming.
What are the odds?
Correct. The odds for
Because that matters.
Luke May to be shown is 2-1.
Okay, so yes is plus 200, and then no is just minus 100.
No, it's like it would be minus 150, I think.
Ah, okay.
No.
Yeah, we don't even know if he's gonna be here.
If he's there, he's shown 100%.
Yeah.
Because even the fact that he's not been in any games, so if he comes, is this big story of like his brother came all this way to be able to watch.
I'm gonna go
But-
yes. Drake May, he's talked about his brothers a lot since him being drafted. There's the iconic video of them recording a video for him that they played on draft night, and he reacted to it. It's super funny. And so I think that his brother will be there. Because, like, there's no guarantee that Drake May goes to another Super Bowl. Like, this might be your only chance to see him in the Super Bowl. You can't just assume that, because he did it as a 23-year-old, he's just going to do it over and over again like Tom Brady did. So I think that his brother will be there, and because he's there, he's going to be shown. So I'm going yes.
Yeah, I agree. I bet yes as well. I like that one a lot. The other two I got, and you guys can pick which one you want to bet on, but it deals with the halftime show. And the halftime show, if you don't know this year, is none other than Bad Bunny. Of course, been a lot of like topics with that have been discussed. But
Sure.
to be honest, there's people who are like, oh, I wish like the Super Bowl would just be like normal, the halftime show at least. That's been discussed multiple years running. Like Kendrick Lamar had his stuff last year with
Yeah.
Drake and
Yeah.
Donald Trump and whatnot. And we're not a political show, so I'm not getting into it. But I got two bets. One of them is, will Bad Bunny kiss someone on stage? And if you don't know, as far as I could find, Bad Bunny has only kissed one person ever on stage. And it was in 2022 at the VMAs. He kissed one of his male dancers on the mouth on stage. So do you guys want to bet on that one?
Well, what's the line?
Yeah, we need to know the juice.
The line is 7-1.
Okay.
7-1
plus-
odds that he will kiss someone on
And
stage.
then no is minus 150 again?
No would be like, I don't know, minus 350 or something.
Oh, okay.
What's the other one?
The other one is you can bet on the style of dress Bad Bunny will wear, which, if you don't know, he's said he plans on wearing a dress
I did see that.
at the Super Bowl. We don't know styles of dresses.
Yeah, let's
at
stick with this
all.
one. 'Cause I was gonna say I don't like
But I
floor
bet
length, knee length,
Ball gown.
Yeah,
ball gown, sundress.
ball gown is the favorite.
Okay.
No way.
Yeah, sundress was not listed, but I asked my fiance for advice on this one. She went with body can, which is apparently
Never heard of that.
a famous Latino dress
Okay.
style. So
Body can?
yeah, given that Bad Bunny is Latino
I think that's a safe bet.
from Puerto Rico, I do think that might be a good one. But I do understand how ball gown is the favorite. But we can bet on whether or not Bad Bunny will kiss someone on stage instead.
I'll
if
take
you'd like.
yes. I'll take yes.
That is really good
We'll
value
swing for the
yes.
fences.
That is really good value for yes.
7-1. Can't hate. I think there's high likelihood he's going to want to spice it up. You make a good point of like, why are we calling this Super Bowl halftime show weird? They've been weird for who knows how long. Even Left Shark.
Yeah.
They can be weird in different ways, but like that's just they're always wacky. They always go all out. So who knows what we're gonna see?
Yeah, my mom didn't let me watch Super Bowl show growing up because it was weird.
Classic.
My fiance, they didn't allow them to watch the Shakira show, Super Bowl 55, I think, because Shakira hips don't lie.
Yeah.
So yeah, her church group that was watching the Super Bowl, they turned the game off when it went to halftime.
Church group, pretty understandable. Like
Yeah.
better safe than sorry until you get some parent that is like, you let the children watch the halftime show. Rah, 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 rah.
Yeah. I'll also go yes. I agree. I think he's
yeah,
gonna try
I'm going
and
yes as
spice
well.
it up. Good. I put it in for you and not me.
I can't wait to watch and see if he's going to at some point.
The
My eyes gonna be glued to
anticipation-
that
The
screen.
anticipation will be high.
One of my favorite bets last year was like betting on which song Kendrick Lamar was going to come out to, but like I don't know any of the Bad Bunny songs by name, so I did not make a bet
Sure.
on that this year.
Probably for the best.
Another one that's really popular is within the game itself, and these are two that I actually have as best bets. I have the over on total sacks in this game, which is 6.5, which I got at plus money. As we talked about earlier, Drake May's been sacked 5 times in each of the last 3 games. And Seattle this year is averaging 3 sacks per game themselves when they play playoff teams. So I do think sacks is a big part of it. Like Drake May could get sacked 5 times and Darnold 2.
Yeah.
That hits 4 and 3, whatever you want to name it. Drake May could have a Mahomes game where his offensive line gets destroyed and he's sacked 7 times.
That's what I was going to say. I could see this game going where the Seahawks get up 14-0, and all of a sudden the Patriots are in come from behind territory, and they're just having to chuck the ball, and Darnold gets sacked, like you said, 7 times. So I will also be going over on this. Jack?
I'm taking the over. I think it makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, I was shocked I got that at plus money. It's plus 130. The other one is turnovers. The line is 2.5 and over
Total turnovers.
total turnovers
Okay.
in the game. Over 2.5 is actually favored. Is the favorite at minus 115 if it matters to you, which is just a little bit above 50%. And I do think with the way Darnold leads leagues in turnovers with 20. I already talked about how like CMC 2 years ago is a guy who never fumbles in the Super Bowl. And then Drake May, of course, has 5 touchdowns and 5 turnovers in the 3 playoff games. So I love turnovers in this game. I think there's 3 or more. And so I'm all over the over for 2.5. It's one of my best bets for this game.
I'll spice things up a little bit, and I'll say that both quarterbacks lock in and avoid interceptions by playing super safe because it's a Super Bowl, right? So like you don't want to damage your team. So they may end up missing a couple big opportunities, but I'm going to say they also avoid the turnovers, and then we have a fumble or two. So I'll take the under. Jack?
I'm taking the over.
Another one I was looking at, but I never ended up betting on it. I haven't yet, at least. It may change, but there was a joke bet, a joke line of
Oh, boy.
whether or not Seattle would throw the ball on the 1 yard line. In fact, Sam Darnold and Mike McDonald were both asked about this question. If it's 2nd and goal from the 1 yard line and there are 26 seconds left, are you running or throwing the football? Mike McDonald responded with, is beast mode in the backfield? Sam Darnold responded with, let's say, pass. This year, Seattle has run 13 plays from the 1 yard line. Only 2 of them were pass attempts. The rest of them a lot of them were Zach Charbonnet touchdown runs, in which there were 5 of them. And then some of them were runs with K9. There was also an Elijah Arroyo tush-push attempt twice. The odds you can find for this are plus 550, which is 15.3% implied odds. Ironically enough, 2 divided by 13 is 15.38%. So they've got it right on the money.
Yeah.
The books have done their research. So unless
Congrats
that line
to them.
rises, I will not be betting on it. And yes, congrats to the books for actually doing their research because, we detailed the Tom Brady tie story the last time we did this show. But in terms of best bets, I think each of us, let's throw out, before we get to the final 2, anytime touchdown. Who you got? Pick one guy, scores a touchdown in this game. I've got a specific stat that I think plays a factor, but what about y'all?
I'm going to go A.J. Barner. I'm going to go, and I imagine he's going to be probably, the 5th or 6th best odds behind Diggs, Stevenson,
I'll pull 'em
Kupp,
up.
and JSN. And I just like that because I think that the Patriots are going to be keyed in on JSN. And I do think JSN will score, but as far as value goes, I think is JSN the betting favorite as far as anytime touchdown
No,
score?
Kenneth Walker is.
Okay, yep.
And then I think it's, Kenneth Walker at minus 200. JSN is a favorite at minus 114. And then the next closest is Ramondre Stevenson. A.J. Barner is tied with Hunter Henry for the 4th best odds.
Okay, so I'll take A.J. Barner.
Yeah, give me Kayshon Boutte.
Ooh.
I think he's gonna maybe a 33-yard touchdown reception.
Wow. You got the yardage in there, too. He's locked in.
For me, I went with Seattle receivers. New England this year is not good in terms of giving up receiving touchdowns. They've given up they're 24th in the league in terms of touchdowns that they give up to wide receivers. And so I went ahead and bet on each of the Seattle wide receivers to score a touchdown. Of course, JSN is easy, but Cooper Kupp, Rashid Shaheed, and Jake Bobo. Those would be my 3 anytime touchdown bets that I would consider having because New England's not been good against receivers this year. So I'm going to take Cooper Kupp, Shaheed, and Bobo. Maybe all 3 of them score. And that would be massive, of course. Last year we did really well from the touchdown perspective. Those would be my anytime touchdown bets personally. The last 2 are Gatorade color and then the over-under on the point total. We'll start with the point total, because that comes before the Gatorade, more than likely. You can bet on it, of course, for the Gatorade to come before the final whistle. You can bet on anything in this. For me, the point total for this game is 45.5. There have been 3 occurrences in Super Bowl history where 2 top 5 defenses played each other in the Super Bowl. In fact, those 3 have came in the last 8 Super Bowls, and it is the last 2 years with Kansas City against Philly and Kansas City against San Francisco, and then Super Bowl 52, which was one that Sanders mentioned earlier, Philly versus the New England Patriots. In those 3 games, we've seen an average of 61 total points, and each 3 games have been over the 45.5. This line started at 47.5 and has been bet down to 45.5, meaning the public really likes the under. I like the over.
Yeah.
I think it's one of my best bets in this game is the over. When you look at Super Bowl history, a lot of teams score because you have defensive mishaps, but I also do think you have turnovers that give short fields to teams and change the game. So I like the over on 45.5 total points. Sanders with his score prediction also predicted that.
Yep.
I predicted 52. Sanders predicted 52 as well. Jack, you got a...
I'm taking the over.
I like it.
I think if I'm predicting a high turnover game, that just is going to lead to more points because shorter fields to work with. Maybe there's even a defensive touchdown.
Yep.
We talked about the special teams fireworks these teams have. So maybe there's, even if you don't have a special teams touchdown, maybe there's a 60-yard punt return, and then you got to go 20 yards. I think there's a lot of avenues for, even if the offenses don't have fantastic days, a lot of points to be scored.
The last one is Gatorade color, and this is one I haven't bet on yet, and I don't really have a consensus on it, but I do think we should predict it because it's one of the most popular ones. What do you guys want the odds first?
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah, give me the odds.
The favorite is blue Gatorade at plus 200. The next favorite is orange at plus 250. Then you have
Hold up, I mistyped. Orange or blue is plus 200.
yellow, like lime color.
Lemon lime, yeah.
Lemon lime, whatever you want to call it, at plus 270. So plus 200, plus 250, plus 270. Then there's a gap where purple is plus 700. Water to be poured on the coach instead of Gatorade. So clear water, plus 700 as well. And then red, which would be insane. I can't imagine having red Gatorade at a game. But red Gatorade at plus 1,000. Those are the odds-on favorites for the Gatorade color. And I have not bet on this. I don't know how I feel yet. But what say y'all for the Gatorade color?
So, in my head, I had 2 colors, orange and purple. And I was slightly leaning orange, but then it's like if purple is plus 700, orange is plus 250, and I still feel pretty good about purple. Maybe I should go purple.
Maximize your value.
But no, I'm an orange guy. Like if that's my favorite Gatorade flavor out of like the semi-standard flavors. So I'm going to take orange.
I am going to go lemon lime. I feel like lemon lime is a very safe bet as far as Gatorade goes. So I will be going the lemon lime because I don't know. I feel like it's a pretty consistent a flavor that's commonly used, right? I feel like some athletics, in athletics and athletic training, there are some Gatorades they actually just don't use because athletes don't like them or they're too sugary and stuff. In fact, lemon lime is a pretty heavily accepted flavor for usage by athletes. So I'll go lemon lime. I very rarely actually see red Gatorade used in Mississippi State coolers. It's not a very used flavor.
I just think with red 40 as a coloring.
Yeah, no one wants that dumped on them. It doesn't taste very good.
Probably stains your clothes.
Definitely stains your clothes.
You get that red, little lip.
Vampire.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go with, personally, orange. If I remember correctly, we haven't seen that in a few years. I know last year was lemon lime. 2 years ago was purple. And after that, I can't remember. But I don't think we've seen orange in a while. And I do think we see orange in this game.
And it's different from sideline to sideline, isn't it?
Yes.
It might even be different from cooler to cooler, which is crazy to think about. That, you might make it or break it based on
Who
which
picks up the
water cooler
is
they
scooped up.
grab. that's scary to think about. Your life savings could go down the drain based on which cooler the third string defensive tackle grabs.
I
This
can't
is
wait for
why
the
you
scandal on
only
that.
put limited units on Gatorade color.
You could have that
It's one of the most
approach.
popular bets of the bets there are in the Super Bowl. It is one of the most, in terms of the most money that goes into it. So,
Sure.
lives will change on this Gatorade color, literally. But those are the majority of them. I can,
Perfect.
yeah, I've got some other weird ones, but
What I need is people who are on the side, like who are like on the 50-yard line, like seeing what color it is as players get it, and then leaking that so that we can get or do you think the betting closes at kickoff?
it closes at kickoff.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
So
tough.
you could figure out if you have a chance, but there's no way to like rig it.
Sometimes they'll close it an hour or two prior as well.
Oh, that's
if that-
really tough.
If they will void any bet post public information being available.
Well, okay. They don't have to know public information was available. It could be private information.
It could be. That's
They have
called
eyes
having
everywhere.
an edge.
Yeah.
All right, good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how this plays out.